Barcelona or Paris? Two iconic cities that both offer a vibrant lifestyle for digital nomads, but the reality of living and working in each is as different as tapas and croissant. Let's compare the two based on some criteria and my personal experience and see which city might be the perfect fit for you and me. And don't forget to drop your choice in the comments, and let's go! Since a digital nomad is basically anyone who works remotely, no matter where they are physically located, they usually earn a decent amount of money to afford this lifestyle. So I don't want to compare everyday parameters like housing costs, average salaries, insurance, etc. All of this is at the usual Western European level. As I have traveled and met other nomads, I have found that these categories are the most common when choosing the next destination or where to settle for a longer period of time. So for some reason we still need visas to explore our planet, and France is very well known for their talent passport visa for remote workers, entrepreneurs and investors. Hundreds of thousands of people get this visa every year. Versus brand new digital nomad residency program in Spain, which is growing in popularity every year, and thousands of people are arriving in Barcelona mostly. I am not going to list the requirements for both of them now. They change every time, but it seems that both of them are pretty easy to get if you're already a digital nomad with a good income. And I would even say that the ease of the visa is not really important for digital nomads, because this movement started long before this term appeared and certainly before all of these visas. The main point is actually what these visas give you, and these two are pretty similar. They give you a residence permit for 3 years in Spain and 4 years in France, also social security benefits, but you have to register your business and pay taxes and social security contributions. So it should be your main country of residence. I personally think it's fair enough. It's a good filter of people for the country, only those who are determined. Also, in both options you can extend your stay in the country up to citizenship if you follow the rules, which is pretty awesome. In case of bureaucracy, both have pros and cons. For example, French visa is already out for a long time and the processes of getting it is pretty straightforward comparing to a brand new Spanish one. But in terms of paperwork, I think the Spanish one is easier because it requires less proof, such as business plan. I am actually a holder of Spanish digital nomad visa, and the whole process was very easy for me, and overall Spanish bureaucracy seems not so complicated and well documented. So after 1 year of living there, we're satisfied so far. Where from French side, I've heard a lot of complaints about their bureaucracy cruel for foreigners. So if you know about it, please tell us your story in the comments, because maybe what I heard was wrong. So at this point, both countries have something to offer and are quite similar, but what about climate, culture and community? Well, the climate side is super obvious. I think Barcelona is a warm city by the sea, very dry area, very warm in winter and hot in summer. Paris, on the other hand, is a very rainy, green city with colder winters and softer summers. I really love the winter in Barcelona. It's really warm but fresh, but I really miss the green of the city, the grass that is all burned. The summer I tend to avoid there because it's so hot and very smelly in the city. In Paris, I really enjoy the rain and the green, but Parisian summers have their own unpleasant moment for a short period of time, like yesterday when here was plus 36 degrees Celsius, which in combination with prohibited air conditioning in the city is a deadly conditions. I felt really bad yesterday, had nausea and dizziness, so I think in both cities it's best to leave the city in summer. Another somewhat important but very different thing for everyone is the community of like-minded people. Well, cities have different vibes, so they attract different people. Barcelona is more chill, smaller and feels more provincial, where Paris has an aesthetic cosmopolitan vibe. So you can expect to find more open-minded and chill people in Barcelona, enjoying their laid-back life by the sea. And in Paris, people mostly go for inspiration, creativity, and the big city lifestyle. And the last criterion is culture and acceptance of the foreigners in society. I think no one is surprised that Spain wins here, especially Barcelona, where people are warm, open, and sociable. They have a concept of living together that is deeply rooted in society. This cultural norm promotes a sense of community and inclusiveness, where people from different backgrounds are welcomed and encouraged to participate in local traditions. Where French society has a reputation for being more formal and reserved, especially in Paris. The French often have a strong sense of national identity and pride, which can sometimes lead to a slower acceptance of outsiders who do not fully understand the French customs and language. My personal experience based on obtaining a digital nomad residence permit in Spain, and now I'm visiting Paris for a month, and it may not sound really fair or objective that I prefer Barcelona for living more, but the first year we actually didn't like Barcelona at all and only recently got into it, especially on the contrast with Paris. And since we mostly travel like digital nomads, we didn't change our everyday life, just location. When we arrived in Paris, we immediately felt the difference in people and everyday comfort. People are really more closed. Even dog owners tend to avoid each other on the street, which is super strange for me after Barcelona. People who work in services are more formal. It feels like they are just doing their job. And in terms of comfort, as I mentioned before, there is no air conditioning in the apartments, there are almost no escalators to the metro, and a lot of such little things that you notice when you stop treating yourself as a tourist here. But the biggest inconvenience for us were the supermarkets. The first 4 days we went to all the supermarkets in our neighborhood and we're actually disappointed by the quality and variety of food, especially the lack of fresh meat, fish, fruits and veggies. It really feels like the French eat only canned food. Maybe it's just the contrast, but the food in Barcelona is amazing. The meat and fish are so fresh and varied. Beautiful vegetables of all kinds. Lots of the sweetest fruits and berries. I miss it already. And of course, everything is so much cheaper. The fresh fish, for example, is 3 times less expensive than in Paris. I can't say that I don't like Paris. It's a really beautiful city. The most beautiful in the world, maybe. And I really want to visit it regularly. But in terms of our lifestyle, the city doesn't fit in our needs and we don't fit in here. I even think that to live here, you have to love the city madly, accept all the disadvantages and not even consider other places. But those are just my thoughts. Tell me yours in the comments. If you live in the city as a digital nomad or a foreigner, how is it? And if you're interested in what my life as a digital nomad and startup founder in Barcelona is like, click this video and see you there.